Hey, Seymour here with your weekly update, and actually we'll come back to this in just a second. I want to talk, we'll come back to that in just a second. I want to talk to you about our uh, cable, our beloved cable. One of the things that came out of the recent trip to Shenzhen is a chance to make this, not chance to, yeah, a chance to make this even more beautiful. We looked at this a few weeks ago. One of the things I've come to appreciate working on MAGFAST and working on this cable is how tough it is for car designers, right? Because they're trying to design a 3D object that looks great from all kinds of directions. I don't know about you, I feel this cable is, I just really love it from here. Just these beautiful curves. We're doing this curve along the front here because the way this fits into your equipment is all to do with the metal connection. It's not really anything to do with this here. We just want it to look beautiful all the time. And so we've got this curve on here, this beautiful curve here, and you know how this goes. It goes into the top, doesn't it? This is a slightly older version of the cable. You can see, do you see how it just looks kind of stubbier? It doesn't look as pretty. Remember, just a cautionary note in case you haven't joined us on one of these before, these are not the final colors. Everything will be gorgeous and white. These are the engineering diagrams that we use internally when we're working on stuff. So this, let me spin it around a little bit here. The other thing to watch out for is the perspective that can look a little bit funny in these engineering diagrams as well. But anyway, coming up to our cable. So we did a bunch of work to make it more beautiful, but so we improved the curves here and the curves here, and what wasn't possible was to, which is fine when it's plugged in, but what wasn't possible was to, excuse me, I also want to apologize if you're new with us here, that I'm not terribly good at manipulating these 3D screens. It's just like the 3D engineers who do it are brilliant at it. But this area here, this drop down here was necessary because inside here, the wires come along here, there's a component here, and you need a certain amount of space to kind of get around the corner and get onto this component here, and as a result of that, we had to have this deep well over here. I'm just going to remove. I'm going to remove the cable from here because I want to talk to you about the well. Hey, look, you see how this works? There's the internals of the cable. Let's get rid of that. Hide that. Look, there's the actual bit that plugs in. Maybe we'll pull that out. Oh God, this is going to take forever. Excuse me. And then you click in the wrong place and it flies around like that. Hide. There we go. And hide. And I'm going to leave this tip up at the end here. All right. And this is the component that actually plugs in. And I think with this tool over here, I think I can grab hold of this. Can I? And pull it out. No, it doesn't seem to want to pull out like that. All right. So let's hide it as well. So what you're left with here is this well. And the purpose of the well is to give enough height for the cable. And the reason it's so big at the bottom is because we wanted that no matter what other USB-C cables you have, other than our beautiful built-in one, we wanted you to be able to plug it in. Okay, and it's okay. We were happy to ship with it like this. But one of the things we learned when we were over in Shenzhen is that they now have a smaller component that can go in here, so you can actually get around this corner much quicker. Meaning that this column here can be significantly shorter. I forget the exact amount, but it's getting on for half an inch or so. And so we went back to look at the bowl here, and we figured that we can get a bowl on this side that matches the one on the other side. Hang on, let me hide this properly. Hide. Because this bowl here has this lovely, and again in the engineering diagram you can't see, but it's really gorgeous in practice. This lovely swooping feeling and these soft edges when you run your finger over it, it just feels gorgeous. And we wanted to have the chance to do the same thing on the other side. And now this new component that gets around the corner quicker here allows us to do it. Now, the diagram the engineering drawing I'm about to switch to looks a little bit crazy. I need you to ignore the strange artifacts on it. Okay, I need you to ignore these strange white bits that are to do with when this model was made, it was comparing this model with another model, and the blue is a way of showing kind of any micro discrepancy, like tiny thousandth of a millimeter discrepancies. But I want to show you what we're able to do now. If I take this, is it going to come out for me? I take this guy, and of course it's not working because I'm trying to demo it to you. Oy vey. Hang on, I'm gonna pull this out and cut the video. Yeah, well, I didn't manage to figure out the grab hand thing, so I'll do it by hiding it instead. But this is representing the end of the cable, or the end of any cable. In fact, this is representing the end of your cable that's a bit bigger and kludgier than ours. What we do is we got the most popular cables, measured them, and then went a little bit bigger than that. So 99.9% of cables will fit within this envelope. And if I just hide this now, all right, you can see that we've now got this lovely matching bowl down here. Again, apologies for my skills of controlling it on the screen. But look how beautiful that is now. In fact, let's look at it from a bit further away, because you won't be looking at it quite so close up. You won't have your eyes right in the middle of it. And you can see it's just beautiful and smooth like that. You'll be able to plug any cable in here without that well in the bottom. And what it also means is that on our cable, we can now come back. If I just do the top view here, top view, this beautiful shape that we've got here, we've managed to, we kept it looking pretty nice here. This little bump is like a fun detail that helps to secure it into that right-hand scoop. But now we're going to be able to go back and just contour this a little bit here. And the beauty of this work, for anyone who's wondering, is that the cables are much quicker to work on than any other part of it. So taking a little extra time to really craft and sculpt the cable, now that this opportunity has arisen, doesn't really add any time. All right, so that's your update. Love to hear what you think. This is just another case of, we're working to make every part of it wonderful, and we don't think anybody else is doing that. So I really appreciate your support. Got some really wonderful comments in from you over the last few weeks as we've been doing these updates about some of the details. And I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for your support. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.